Kia ora. In this bulletin, a ruling that a woman who gave birth after a sterilisation operation suffered a personal injury is being seen as an important decision. The woman gave birth in 2005 despite having had a sterilisation procedure at Middlemore Hospital in 2004. The surgeon's lawyer, Harry Walkins QC, says if the Supreme Court hadn't ruled it was a personal injury, doctors would have been discouraged to perform the procedures. Midwives say the incident, which saw the death of a newborn baby in 2009, was not the tip of an iceberg. Linda Barlow's baby son Adam was pronounced dead shortly after his birth at Waikato Hospital in 2009. Coroner Gordon Martanga has found failures by Jennifer Rowan, who had been a midwife for less than a year, contributed to Adam's death. Midwifery Council Chief Executive Sharon Cole says their council has nearly 1,000 graduate midwives and problems with only a tiny percentage.
We've had notifications of concern about 6 of those, and one of those was with Jennifer Rowan. We found there were reasons for concern, 2 that there were no further concerns, and 2 that we're still investigating. So putting it in perspective, there isn't a systemic problem.
However, Ms Cole told the Pat Brittenton programme on New Zealand's Rima that lessons have been learned by Ms Rowan and her colleagues.
She needs to look at being more assertive or whatever in terms of what she required, speaking out when she needed more support. But then I think the people around her need to look very closely at themselves and say, how could we have been more supportive and more collegial of her?
Plenty of hard work ahead for Tūhoe's leaders before relations with the police are patched up. A stay of proceedings was filed at the High Court this morning after a jury was unable to reach a verdict on charges of participating in an organised criminal group. Tūhoe leader Tamati Kruger says people don't realise just how much damage this court action has caused for the iwi and its people. Claims that Kiwi women are the most promiscuous in the world are being dismissed for lack of evidence by the government. Conservative leader Colin Craig also says women shouldn't get long-term contraception paid for by the taxpayer because that's funding a lifestyle choice. But Māori Party co-leader and Associate Health Minister Tariana Turia says he's plainly wrong. Competition is heating up in the mortgage market. ANZ has dropped its one-year fixed rate to 5.25%, the lowest since 1995. Kiwibank also has a special 4.99% per annum fixed rate with deposit conditions attached. A group of senior jurists and legislators has come out against provisions in the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. The agreement would allow foreign investors to sue our government and reverse any legislation they felt damaged their investments. Former Waikato University Vice-Chancellor and British MP Brian Gould told New Zealand's Rima he was worried by the agreement.
An agreement like this goes well beyond free trade. It contains provisions that if an overseas corporation, not the governments, say we wanted to change the law on smoking, they would be able to take our government to a specially constituted private tribunal.
He says that's plainly wrong.
Far from being just free trade, this is a means by which we're actually sucked into and made part of the American economy.
The Prime Minister doubts whether the hunt for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs leak will find the culprit. The State Services Commission is investigating how a cabinet paper outlining revised restructuring plans made it into the hands of Labour MP Phil Goff. John Key supports the inquiry, but he's pessimistic over the outcome. A tourism operator making a living off the Lord of the Rings trilogy believes that the spin-offs from The Hobbit will be even bigger. Tourism New Zealand has revealed that it's set to sign a deal with the makers of the Hobbit movies to promote New Zealand as a tourist destination. Vic James, who runs Red Carpet Tours, says fans have a lifelong desire to be in Middle-earth. Well, that's all from us here in the Middle-earth newsroom for now. Thanks for watching. Ka kite anō.